Oh my god, this game is beautiful. For those of you that may not know, there's a new puzzle village building game out called Dorfromantik. Now this game has been out for a while in early access, and now it's fully out, and it's been fully out for a while because I'm editing this video late, but that's beside the point. This game is gorgeous and so relaxing. Now, as you may or may not know, I'm a huge fan of puzzle games because I have a slight obsession, maybe with fixing all the problems in the world, even when people don't want me to. But now I get to fix all the problems in the world of my own design. Well, kind of. I mean, the only problem with that is that I can't move any of the pieces after I place them. So maybe this is actually my own nightmare? Because it's a game in which I have a little less control in the department of fixing my own mistakes. Okay, maybe playing this game was a mistake I could have fixed before I started. Either way, sit back, grab your mouse and keyboard and a cup of your favorite drink, and let's build a village together in Dorfromantik. The game is relatively straightforward in its mechanics. You basically get a stack of tiles and place them next to each other to score points. The points, though, are based on the amount of the same tile types that are connected to each other. For example, if you place a forest next to a forest, you get more points. But if you place a forest connecting to a field, you get less points, so on and so forth. Once you run out of tiles, the game is over and the points get tallied up. Oh yeah, of course, how could I forget?
We never want the fun to end.
You can collect more pieces to play by completing quests. There are a couple different kinds of quests. The first type is where you need to connect equal or more of the specific tile type on the quest bubble. Once you get enough connected, it will complete and give you more tiles to place. The other type of quest is an exact quest, where you have to get the exact amount in order to complete it and get more tiles. Seems simple enough, right? Yeah, well, at least 9 fields. Oh, you have to have 3 fields, but this has to be at least 9 fields. Okay. See, I'm getting it. I didn't know what the numbers represented, so every tile that I tried to place became a guessing game as to how many of each type of tile I was actually placing in order to complete the quest, and it was confusing. What I found out was that these numbers above the quest are actually counting the individual fields, the individual houses, and the individual trees on a given tile. That, of course, means counting every single house, every single field, and every single tree. Yeah, you can probably guess which one I continued to guess on. That's right, all of them, because I am supposed to be relaxing and enjoying my experience, not counting every happy little tree that appears on the tiles. If you also don't like counting all those happy little trees, may I suggest clicking that happy little subscribe button and leaving a like to let me know that you enjoy the content. It would mean the world to me and to the villagers who are watching the world spontaneously manifest before their eyes. Ah, man. The trauma is real. There's some differences, especially surrounding the rails and the waterfront tiles. These tiles can only really be placed in certain ways, and unless it's an end piece, for some specific tile types, you can only place them in a way that doesn't block them from continuing into another tile of the same type. This isn't terribly difficult, but it was hard for me, especially when I forgot to finish some of the quests, and I definitely spread my rails and sails way too much. I just need a couple more RAM sticks put in my brain so I can remember things better in the short term and catalog my surroundings better. I mean, come on, is that really too much to ask? The game has many different beautiful tile arrangements, but there are even some that are unlockable that brings another boost of life into your puzzle village. When you've placed enough tiles, you get access to a windmill for the fields, or a train for the tracks, and even a boat that will travel up and down your rivers. There's even a point when the game starts adding new biomes to your world that shake up the standard colors you're used to, like these fields that are now growing eggplants in addition to your wheat. These seemingly tiny aesthetic changes really bring the game to life and keep me wanting to complete quests, to get more tiles, to discover more bonus aesthetics. It's a game that just grabs your attention and pulls you back in. I love it. The other beautiful aspect of this game is that I can create tiny ponds. And let me tell you, these little tiny ponds are my favorite, and I think they look adorable next to houses and just surrounded by the forest. So great. The trouble though started as soon as I misplaced my first tile. Remember how I said that once a tile is placed, that's it? No undo buttons, no retries, and definitely no rearranging of pieces? That's been there the whole time, hasn't it? Of course it has been. Okay, so you can undo. But what I've come to learn about this game is that sometimes your magnificent plan isn't always going to work out. Sometimes you have to place an imperfect piece. Sometimes you can't complete a quest or have to fail a quest. And sometimes you lose because of a silly placement and you think, man, if only I had played this piece differently, or chose to complete this quest over trying to complete the other one. There's a lot that can go wrong in this game. And sometimes you won't even realize it until it's too late. I continued to voice frustration again and again as soon as I would misplace pieces or place several pieces in a row, only to realize there was a more optimal way to place them. It was so frustrating, and instead of solving problems, I was creating more of them for myself with every single tile that I laid down. Well, that wasn't until I remembered the words of a wise man from my childhood. We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents. I had been playing this game all wrong. I was trying to master it, place every tile correctly, be the best puzzle buster out there, but while I was zoomed in on the fine details, I didn't take the opportunity to step back and see the fuller picture. What I had built was definitely imperfect. There were many different ways that I could have optimized my village differently to get more points, or maybe even to get more tiles to make it bigger. But that's not the point of playing the game. And I would argue that's not the point of painting or a lot of different types of art. The joy of art is in the imperfection. We don't create because it will be perfect. We create because it's a part of us. A desire that bursts through our very being and commands the canvas that we are working on. A desire that floods every part of ourselves and allows our emotions to flow through our hands and onto our chosen medium. Ultimately, it is something that brings us joy, which is exactly what Dorfromantik did for me. Dorfromantik is a relaxing, challenging, and beautiful game that deserves all the love and respect I have to offer. The beautifully made tiles, the lovely music that draws you into the experience like no other. It's intuitive, carefully crafted, and speaks to a need for more imperfection in our lives. Beautiful things can be born out of what we and others think as horrific mistakes. What we have can become something incredible. And ultimately, I think Dorfromantik shows us that happy accidents are exactly what leads us to an incredible masterpiece.